Hello everyone and welcome back to your piano lesson. If you are here for the first time, I am Gianluca Fronda, pianist, composer, piano and composition teacher. If you want to discover interesting facts about me, you can watch the introduction video of the channel. I'm leaving the link below in the description, where you will find also the link for my artistic channel in case you are interested in original music and covers. Going back to the Piano Lessons to Go channel, don't forget to subscribe and to share also with your friends if there is anybody that is interested in piano music. Let me know also about yourself when you started studying, your experience. Now time to go to our lesson. Today is finally time to play the Etude in B flat on page 36 of the John Thompson's Easiest Piano Course Part 3. If you have been following all the lessons published on Thursday lately, you have noticed that I jumped from the peasant dance to In a Gondola, then the cowboy song, a little bit of rag. I restarted obviously lately, the last couple of weeks, with the John Thompson Part 3. I finished first of all the John Thompson Part 2, but anyways, I didn't play and explain at all the Etude in B flat on page 36. It's finally time. I did because in general this is not something that you students in need of going straight on to grade 1 will ever face in grade 1. Nothing with two flats, nothing in B flat. Indeed, we have to talk about this new key signature. Until now, you have been used, let's say up to this point, I could even say up to Chinese theater, because here you also got two sharps. You were used to maximum one flat. Here we are finally facing the key signature with two flats, that is the B flat major. If you go to the back of the book, so to the last pages where there are the scales and the chords explained, you will notice that on page 45 we have the B flat major scale. It's just one octave. And I invited everybody, when I explained the scales in general, the lesson that was just before the juggler, on page 20, I invited everybody to study the scales, to learn how to write down the notes of the scales, and one of these ones was exactly the scale of B flat major. Obviously now we don't have to worry anymore about writing it down, because I really hope that you have done, respecting strictly the principle, the rules of the major scale, the whole tone in between the first and the second, the whole tone in between the second and third, the semitone in between the third and the fourth note, whole tone in between 4 and 5, whole tone 5 and 6, whole tone 6 and 7, and semitone in between 7 and 8. By respecting these principles, you will notice that the fourth note of the scale was supposed to be here E flat, because moving from the B flat to the following note, the second note, that has to be one tone distant, you move to the C, middle C, B flat according to the key signature, then the second one was supposed to be the C. You see, because we have to respect the distance of one tone. Why is it one tone? Because we have one key in between them. This is a semitone, this is another semitone, this is a tone. When you move from B flat to the C, you're moving one tone. Then, between the second and the third, we would need one tone. And indeed, we go to the D, because we have the C sharp or D flat in between them. And here we are, D. But then, you discovered here that you needed, as a fourth note, in this case you needed the E flat, because from the D, you have to move one semitone according to the principle of the major scale. Semitone. And indeed, where did you go? You went to the E flat. Here we are. This is a semitone. And what happened? We have to write down, when we are in one specific key signature, we have to write it down at the beginning. B flat and D flat are the two black keys that you have to play. B flat was the first, and D flat is the fourth note, and obviously second black key. Then you go to the F, because you need one tone in between the fourth note and the fifth. If the fourth note was the E flat, as we said, The fifth one has to be F. Semitone, semitone, tone. Here we are. Indeed, the fifth note is the F. E flat, then F. Then tone, tone, and obviously the B is already flat, and you know that you have to simply end, because obviously you have completed the 7 notes, and you end with the first note 1 octave higher. And this is the scale of B flat major. You have to respect a very interesting fingering. You start from the second finger, then you do 1, 2, 3, then you pass the thumb, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you go back, 4, 3, 2, 1, then you cross over the third finger, 3, 2, 1, and then you end with the second. In this exercise, you have also the chords. B flat, D and F, played in this way. Then you have B flat, E flat and G, that you will play with 1, 3, 5. Then back to the B flat, D and F with 1, 2, 4. And then you play, this one is A underneath, middle C and F. It's a very important chord, played with 1, 2, 5. And back to the B flat, D and F with 1, 2, 4. So in general it will sound 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Playing the whole one at once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can end indeed also with 1, 3, 5, yeah? Anyways, now that we have explained the B flat major scale played with the right hand, you have to know that you can play it with the left hand as well. The notes are the same identical ones, obviously, and you can play 1 octave lower. You don't start from this B flat, the one straight to the left of the middle C, but you can start from the one to the left side, so 1 octave lower, and you can do 3, 2, 1, then you do 4, 3, 2, 1. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the second, yeah, pass the thumb, then indeed play the first chord, this one, with 1, 2, 4. Then you can, keeping the fourth on the B flat, you can move the second and the thumb to the E flat and the G. This is exactly the second chord. Then back to the first with 1, 2, 4 anyways. Then the last one of the second last part we play with 1, 3, 5. Is exactly this one. And then we end with 4, 2, 1 on the B flat, D and the F, exactly the last one. Okay? That's all. Now we can finally play the beautiful etude in B flat. Thompson here is suggesting you to play it in 2 different ways. You see that there is a number 2 in the bracket. Why? Let's try to understand what he wants from you. Play this etude in 2 ways. Firstly, as written, 2 notes with the left hand, and 3 with the right. Then make a cross-hand study of it by passing the left hand over to play the last note of each bar with the second finger. All bars obviously except the last 2 where is not needed. You see that each bar is ending with a long note, long note, long note, long note, and Thompson is asking you to play this long note at the end in this way. The second time obviously, yeah? Instead of doing, this is now the first way is the official way. With the little finger on the D. You have to remember anyways that we have B flat and E flat, please, yeah? All the B's and all the E's are flattened. But then the second time, we don't play anymore the D, this one, with the little finger, but we will play it with the second finger of the left in this way. And this is what he's asking you to do. Then, what is he saying? In bar 10, 11, 12 and 13, which ones are these bars? Are exactly this one, this one, this and this. Play the notes with the little lines under them. You see that here we have a small line, little line, little line, little line, little line. You will learn, if you will carry on with Thompson Part 4, you will learn what is this, or you can learn even if you don't go to Thompson Part 4, because I don't believe that many students are going over with Thompson. In general, they jump to grade 1. Anyways, play these notes with these lines underneath with extra singing quality, like melody notes. You have to emphasize, you have to push a little bit more those notes. A little bit of accent, but not same as the accent that was like an edge that we have discovered previously, but you will see what I mean. It's very complicated to understand which one is the difference in between these that should be called tenuto mark and the other one that is the accent. Anyways, we have one thing to mention, that the pedal may be used here. Once in each bar. The pedal is the right pedal. If you have in your piano the right pedal, it's time to learn how to use it. I suggest to ask your teacher to teach you how to use the pedal, because it's much better that you have somebody that close to you show you how to use the pedal. Obviously, if he doesn't want, if he considers it not important and mandatory at this moment, respect his will, his decision is definitely fine either way. But if he is happy, you can ask him to help you to use the pedal, the right pedal, because we have 3 pedals on each piano. Look, pay attention 1 second. These are the 3 pedals. My middle one is still covered. Anyways, the one that I'm talking about is exactly the right one. This one. You see? Exactly this one. The one that you might need. I hope you like my socks. Let's play now the Etude in B flat, first of all respecting the first fingering, the one that requires the little finger for the D, for the E flat. This is an E. You see that it's in the 4th space. In the 4th space, as you can see, we have the E flat. The flat sign is exactly in the 4th space, and indeed you have to simply remember that since it is in the 4th space, and in the 4th space we have the E, not only obviously this E, all the E's, also for example the one that you might get, for example, here on the first line of the, on any first line of the treble clef stave, or even this one. You see that this note is the E. Why? On the bottom ledger line we have the middle C, isn't it? Then on top, if you move up the circle, you get the D. Exactly this one, you see? This is a D. D that you have learned in Thompson Part 2 at the beginning with O Susanna. Now, this one is simply 1 step higher, and indeed is the E. Imagine that is exactly the E that you have on the first line of the treble clef, because indeed, if you think about it, this is a simple fragment of the first line of the treble clef. This is the way we like to write it. We write it here to avoid to take it to D's level. Can be maybe a little bit confusing for everybody. That's why we add the ledger line, this small fragment is the E that anyways would be here on the first line of the treble clef. Anyways, so simply remember that now I'm going to play using the first fingering. And I'm playing it slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, I don't know if you noticed that I was really pushing a little bit more, giving emphasis, giving attention, extra attention to these notes, creating a real melody, eh? would happen if you play it correctly. Now I'm going to play it using the second fingering that is suggesting. I'm crossing over. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Three and 4 and stop. I'm going to play it for you now slightly faster in the first position. And slightly faster in second position. Et voilà, and this is the Etude in B flat, played in all the possible ways. You have to simply really focus more and more and more now on the news of the E flat that has been added on top of the B flat that you already knew and you've played many times. And that's all. I don't think that there is anything else that should be mentioned today. I really hope you enjoyed. It's a very nice etude. Focus, learn as much as you can. If you have any question, obviously feel free to comment as usual. Thank you very much to everybody that is subscribing to my channel. If it's the first time that you're landing on my channel, thanks to this video. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in the next one. All the best.